Hey guys, Adriana Jimenez joined here with Richard Schaeffer, Ringstar Sports. Richard, good to see you again. Very excited for this Saturday. Leo Santa Cruz versus Rafael Rivera, February 16, live on Fox and Fox Deportes. How excited are you to see this great war between two Mexicans?
Oh, it's going to be a great fight. You're absolutely right. When you have two Mexicans fighting each other and you put that in downtown Los Angeles, you know the result is going to be fireworks. And talking about fireworks, the fight leading up to that with Figueroa and Molina, I don't like to give guarantees or predictions and so on, but I can predict and I can guarantee that this is going to be a Fight of the Year candidate. No question about it. And you know, the LA fight fans, they're maybe the most knowledgeable fight fans, and they know that. And you know how I know that they know? Because we are virtually at a sellout. This is going to be the biggest crowd we're going to have at the Microsoft Theater in downtown Los Angeles. As I mentioned before, the venue is great for boxing. It's sort of like, I call it the indoor war grounds, being the Dignity Health Center former StubHub is the outdoor war ground. This is the indoor war ground. So it's going to be an exciting night.
We definitely are very excited for that. Leo Santa Cruz, Rafael Rivera. But like you mentioned, and everyone's been talking about that there's so much potential for the Omar Figueroa and John Molina Jr. to steal the show, because we know that both of them had so much dynamite in their hands that it's very unlikely that it'll go 12 rounds, right?
I agree with you. I think it's going to be a toe-to-toe slugfest, and I honestly have no idea who's going to win that one. It's must-see TV. I think there's a lot of fighters on the card for those who are going to come and watch it live, who like to steal the night, who like to steal the show, as they say. I know on the televised portion we're going to have the young U.S. Olympian KARLOS Balderas on as well. I just talked to him. He's had his workout here. He wants to steal the night. So you know, there's going to be a lot of fighters there. They want to impress. They want to impress the millions of people which will be watching on Fox.
And KARLOS Balderas is definitely someone to keep your eye on. He's rising up, getting close to that title contender status. Is he, in your opinion, one of the best fighters in his division coming up right now?
Oh, no question about it. I think he's going to be cracking into the top 10 and probably be fighting within a year for a world title. His skills are amazing. And you know, you look a little bit, if you would be able to build the perfect fighter, I think that would be KARLOS Balderas, because he has a little bit of Floyd, meaning the skills and you know, he's a bit the cockiness, you know, his attitude. He has a little bit of Deontay Wilder, meaning the big punch. And he has a little bit of Oscar as well, meaning the Mexican-American bilingual. So he really has a little bit of everything, and I think that's what makes him so special.
There's already a lot of talk on social media, through the media members, of him down the line fighting other fighters that are coming up, as in Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia. Well, yeah, I mean, it's what people talk. I'm just letting you know. I mean, you know that already.
And by the way, we love the challenge. They actually sparred, and KARLOS was telling me if Ryan keeps on talking shit, they have the video from that sparring session, and if he keeps on talking shit, they A, gonna fight him, and B, they're gonna release the video from that famous or infamous sparring session. So KARLOS is very special.
Well, I don't know what to say to that, but we're also very excited. Part of the telecast this Saturday, we have a very tall super welterweight in Sebastian Fedora, who's taking on Donnie Marshall. This guy is 6'6". I mean, I can't wrap my mind around this big guy at 154. What can we expect from him?
Well, he's an extremely talented fighter. I mean, size, you know, size is one thing, but he can fight as well. And I think it must be some sort of a record to have that height for a 154-pounder. Clearly, he has the opportunity to grow. He's still young, to grow into a bigger weight as well. But he certainly is going to give anyone at his weight class a tall task, and I mean it literally. So very exciting to see him, yes.
I mean, he's the size of Anthony Joshua, of Vladimir Klitschko. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely, and it's going to be difficult for an opponent to punch up. I mean, punching up is one thing, but here you almost need a step stool to reach up there. So I'll be interesting to see.
It definitely is interesting. Another interesting match that's coming up in about a month from now, Mikey Garcia moving up 2 weight divisions to take on the champion Errol Spence. How difficult do you see this fight for Mikey Garcia?
Well, first of all, there's going to be a first ever press conference televised live on Fox on Channel 11 just before the fights from Los Angeles, from the Microsoft Theater. So that's just like right there. This is history that a press conference is going to actually be shown live on one of the biggest networks in the world, and so that shows you how important and how big of a matchup that is. I think it's a fascinating matchup. A lot of people don't really give Mikey much of a chance. Most people are picking Spence. Reminds me sort of like when Oscar De La Hoya was fighting Manny Pacquiao. Nobody really gave the smaller guy much of a chance. So I think we'll need to see the fight. That's what it is. And there are two sort of like wisdoms in boxing. One of them is a great big man always beats a great small man, and that would speak to Errol Spence because he's clearly the bigger and stronger guy. But then there is another saying which was made famous by maybe the most legendary boxer of our generation and his father as well, Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Sr. And they say that skills pays the bills. And if it's skills pays the bills, then one would have to say it's Mikey Garcia. So it's going to be the skills, or is it going to be the size? No matter how you look at it, it's a fascinating matchup. And then you sort of like look at the comments. One of the most knowledgeable guys in boxing, a legendary man in boxing, Larry Merchant, formerly of HBO, who was actually the architect behind getting the De La Hoya Pacquiao fight done. It was his idea. And when he was asked about who do you think is going to win the fight between Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence, his answer was, in typical Larry Merchant fashion, he paused for a while and then he said, well, I would never bet against Mikey Garcia.
There you go.
So, those people who think it's a foregone conclusion that Errol Spence is going to win, I think they might want to go back to the drawing board again. I can't wait. Great fight, big fight. These are two of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound. I called it the coronation on March the 16th from the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. We, as a sport, will witness the coronation on who is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And one guy will walk out of that ring that night wearing the crown of being the best fighter in the world.
We cannot wait for that fight to get here. But of course, first we have to get through this Saturday, February 16th, Leo Santa Cruz taking on Rafael Rivera live on Fox and Fox Deportes. And of course, you mentioned the press conference for Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia earlier that morning on Fox and Fox Deportes as well. Richard, I know you speak Spanish. I've heard you speak it very well. No, you do. He does. Is there any way you can give him a message to let him know that if they could watch the fight on Fox or they could watch it on Fox Deportes, because we're going to have two living legends in Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera calling the fights. Can we do that in Spanish?
Well, first of all, my Spanish is not that great, but este sábado en vivo de Los Ángeles, de Microsoft Theater, en vivo también on Fox, Fox Deportes, es un de más fuerte, más mejor peleadores del mundo. Es es Leo Santa Cruz, para el campeonato del mundo con Rivera. Es un muy buen pelea. Y también los dos leyendas, Eric Morales y mi buen amigo Marco Antonio Barrera, son los dos reportadores con Fox Deportes.
Muy bien, no se pierdan la pelea. Ahí está, muy bien. Leo Santa Cruz, Rafael Rivera en Fox y Fox Deportes este 16 de febrero. Muchas gracias, Richard. You did. It was great. It was great. It was great. Next time the whole interview is gonna be in Spanish. All right, thank you, Richard. Thanks for your time.